Okay, we good? Okay, we'll get started here. This is a little bit of a unusual one because we had talked about earlier. We had actually 2 Saturdays without playing a football game, so it's been a long time since we've done a press conference. And just quickly try to rehash. I won't hit too much because it's been a while since we played our last game. But I think more than anything, a tough loss for us there. Again, a really exciting football game that went down to the wire, and really the big play that sticks out in my mind in that game is us getting, the last drive that we put together there with Calvin at quarterback, and Calvin was doing a lot of good things once he got into the game. The 3rd and 4 call where we didn't convert, I really had envisioned once we had thrown the throwback to the tight end, I really had envisioned, getting one more first down and eating up the whole rest of the clock and scoring as time expired is what I had envisioned, and we didn't quite get that 3rd down conversion there, and we gave them the ball back, and they were in a pretty good rhythm offensively, all day, so I didn't feel good about giving them the ball back with that much time on the clock, and they went down and made some really good plays and, pulled out a good win for them, a tough loss for us, and so that segues into where we are right now. Again, I thought the open week came at a good time for us. We talked about the stretch run that we were on, and the tough loss, the last 2 tough losses that we've had. I think it was good for us to recoup. Which was a big focus, but B, it's also a chance for guys to get better and get any of the issues that we have fixed, and to work on those and do a really good self-analysis going in these last 2 games. And we've put ourselves in a situation now where we have one game this week that's really important for us, because without it we don't have a chance to get to a bowl game, and so it's really important for us to really get locked in and focused on this ball game, and be prepared and have a good performance in all 3 segments of what we're doing. I really liked some of the things that we did in all 3 aspects of what we've done last week's in the Bryce ball game, but there's obviously a lot of things for us to work on, and we've been really trying to crunch down on those things here through the last couple weeks as we get ready for this game. So we're probably getting close to being as healthy at a lot of positions that we've been because of the time off in a long time, and so that's a real positive for us as well. We've got some guys back that were out the last couple games that'll be back now for this game, and that'll be important for us. And so as we go into the game against FIU, FIU is a team that, being where they are in their proximity and their recruiting base, they have a lot of talented players. I think they're in their first year, and they're just learning all to play together, and they've shown flashes of being a really good football team. They've had some, outstanding performances where they beat Charlotte handily, they beat La Tech. They flew out here and beat New Mexico State. So they've had some games where they've played really good football and had some big victories for the program. And so they're definitely a team that is a big challenge for us because they have played at a high level, and because of the athleticism that they have on both sides of the football and in the special teams. And so it's going to be important for us to get back on track and do what we've done and defend home field, and keep our home field edge. We lost that against Middle Tennessee, but we've still won 10 out of our last 13 games at home, and we got to keep that streak rolling in the right direction and be a really good football team as we play this weekend against FIU. It's going to be, again, to me, the things we got to work on, we got to finish drives better. We got to, continue to be balanced in what we're doing, throwing and running the football. We got to minimize giving up big plays. These are the things we've worked on over the open week. As you look at our stats, we got to defend the passing game well. That's something that we have to do well. And like I said, don't give up the big plays, minimize our turnovers, be much better, win the turnover margin. I think we need to cause more turnovers defensively. We obviously need to eliminate any turnovers that we're having offensively as we go into this game, because we've shown when we do execute and we don't turn the ball over, we can play at a really high level, and we need to do that in these last 2 ball games, starting with this one this week. So I'll open up to questions from there.
Coach, if you have to go with Calvin, does the offense change at all? Do you maybe run more because he's good at it, or less because you don't want him to get hurt?
Well, yeah, just our plan of attack for this game, is going to be important for us to stay balanced, with what we're doing. I don't think we ever want to lean one way or the other to what we're doing, run or pass. I think we operate the best when we're staying balanced with what we do, Brett. So that's going to be a big focus for us going into this game, and I think that's obviously going to be important for us to reestablish our run game in this game, but also we got to throw the ball well, and we got to complete a higher percentage of passes. That's one of the goals for us offensively.
What's the level of confidence on Gavin's status for Saturday?
Yeah, I haven't made any. I'm not going to make any. Just so everybody can hear it, I'm not going to make any comments about whether he was out there at practice today. I'm not going to make any comments, further about his status. For obvious reasons, I don't want our opponent to know whether he's going to play or not, right? And so I won't make any comments about his status or talk anything about Calvin playing or Gavin playing, because right now it's day to day, and we're not going to talk any more than that, just so everybody knows, so everybody's on the same page with it.
Just the fact that Calvin has played for you.
Sure.
You have to have a lot of confidence in him.
Yeah, exactly. And if Calvin ends up being the starter in this game, it still remains to be seen. We're not going to be fearful that he's not going to be able to operate the offense at all levels. He started one ball game for us since he's been here, and we scored 40-some points in that ball game. And so his performance, he did a really nice job in that game, and so we're really confident. I don't know if those two guys, Gavin and Calvin, have a ton of reps banked in them, and so we feel confident about either one of them, and we feel like they both do certain things better than the other, but they're both good players for us.
Coach, both teams are 4-6. They need a win this week to continue to strive for
Sure.
the bowl game. How do you manage that in the lead up to the intensity of a matchup like that?
Yeah, it's a big game, right? It's a huge game for us because it just gets us in striking distance what our ultimate goal was at the beginning of the season. And so you can't get to 6 until you get to 5, and you can't get to 5 until you get to tomorrow's practice and have a really good practice and a really locked-in focus to what we're doing. And our league has proven that whoever plays the best is going to win, right? And so in this game, we're going to have to be the team that plays the best to get a victory, and we have to understand that, and we have to look and see, first the good deep self-analysis that we have done, and then we got to get any of our issues fixed that we have that have cost us the ball games that we've lost, and we got to perform at a high level and get some momentum, going into this ball game.
It's really interesting because obviously for a lot of the year they've thrown the ball quite a bit, but in that game against New Mexico State, I think they ran 45 times versus 20 passes. How do you account for what they did in that game?
Yeah.
Because they've shown a few different plays.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to talk about them too, because I really like their quarterback. He's a guy that we looked at and we liked in recruiting. I think he's a really good player for him. They've shown signs of performing at a high level and doing some really good things, and they got plenty of ability to do that. I just think they're trying to mesh as a new group together. And so as you turn the film on and watch him as a coach, opposing coach, you're like, this is a good football team. They're 4-6, right? And our league is that way. As you look across our league, but look across the country, guys, there's a ton of people right around 500 right now or just below 500. You don't have, there's so much more parity this year. You look at a lot of teams and they're right in that same spot. They might be 5-5, 6-4, 4-6 right now. And a lot of us fighting to get over the hump right now. And so I see them as one of those teams that's played some good football throughout the year, and the 4-6 record, is not necessarily indicative of what kind of football team they are.
Senior Day on Saturday, talk about some of the seniors.
Yeah, great. Yeah, that's great, Adrian. I think that's, it's a good list of guys that are graduating here. And with the COVID year, you have some, some guys that could leave that, have another year left, some of the guys that might just want to get on with their professional careers and go on and do some things. So it's a pretty good list of guys that are leaving, guys that have got us to a bowl game, that have changed the whole landscape of our program from when they've got here, changed the whole national respect that our program has right now, which has been a really positive move for us. And, Kelton Moss is one, Jadrian Taylor is another one, some really, tremendous defensive players that have, done some special things here. Kelton's stats might not be up to what Jadrian's are, but, those two guys have been together, since junior college and are really good friends. And they've both been, tremendous football players for us. Tyreek James is another guy that's stepped up in his role this year and done some, really good things for us as well. On the offensive side of the ball, Ronnie Awatt's just been a tremendous player for us and really been a real positive, part of our football team. James Tupu, I think, has had a great year as a senior. He's been around here for a long time because of Gray Shirton. He's a tremendous player that we're going to miss. Trent Thompson's, never did red shirt, so Trent's used up all of his eligibility and has just been a great player for us. Dennis Barnes, another one. So there's a lot of good players to talk about that. I hate senior days in a lot of ways. I hate them. I always hate to see guys leave that you've built relationships with. I mean, you love to see that they've grown as people, and so one part, it's a love-hate relationship, because one part you love where they're going to go and what they're going to do with their lives, but you hate that you don't get to spend all the time with them that you've spent through the years with these guys. And so some of them, we've spent 5 seasons together, and it's been a really good ride and been a lot of fun, and so they're going to be greatly missed in our program. And I don't like to name names because there's more and more. There's so many, that are leaving our program that have left a big impact, and I can't wait to see them go on and do what they're going to do.
Just with obviously what's on the line for you guys in the last 2 games, do you sense a certain sense of urgency with you guys right now?
Oh, gosh, there's been that for the last couple of weeks. We want to go to a bowl game so badly that, I feel like, the last couple wins, we felt like Middle Tennessee and Rice were games that were going to allow us to get to where we were close, and just had to get 1 win or maybe 0 if we won those 2. So now they know there's no second chances. This is it, right? This is our, we got to win this one to give ourselves a chance on Thanksgiving weekend to get to, the ultimate goal. And if we're able to do that, it'd be a big, a huge accomplishment after falling down 4-6. So we got, a lot to work for and a lot to be excited about if we can accomplish it. But it's going to be, really important to play well this weekend as well.
Not to pile on, but have you kind of looked and assessed, how to make better use of timeouts? Is that
yeah, we need to conserve them better. I mean, I watch other games, and I think it caught us in this game for sure, Brett. That I would have loved to have a timeout at the end of the game there, and we didn't. And that went through my mind. Gosh, it would have been nice to have one there. And it's really important to save them. In the second half. You want to save them in the first half for sure, but the second half, it's really, really important to save them. And so obviously, if we get better with our execution of what we're doing, we won't have to waste them, and that's basically what we had to do on a couple of them in that last ball game.
But I mean, like, you wish you'd taken a delay of game?
No. Oh, on the punt?
Yeah.
No, because I was, I had a thought there that, I still was thinking about going for it, so I did. That's why I didn't, It was more better execution. The one that I felt bad about is when we, lined up and I wasn't happy with the alignment of what we had and we had to use it. So that's where the execution comes into it. It was more, being more crisp with our execution and getting ourselves lined up and not having to, burn a timeout, because second half timeouts are really, really critical in a ball game for sure.
Just your message to fans, come out here and just Saturday afternoon, close it out.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, the message is, obviously we've been a really good home team, and this is a big game, and this one gives us a chance to get to, playing on the last weekend of the year to go to back-to-back bowl games, which is something that's, pretty special accomplishment for a football team. And so that's where we are right now. So we need everybody out here. We need everybody supporting us and watching some day football, which is exciting for us to play another day game. We're looking forward to doing that. And so obviously, we get the crowd that we have been getting has been really into the ball game, and we just need to have them bring their friends and come to the ball game and be loud and make a difference.
FIU's last in the league in offense. Have you seen some things there that you maybe defensively can kind of emulate what other people do?
Yeah, I mean, again, their production to me, it's funny, Brett, in all honesty, when you look at them, you see potential for them to perform at a high level. I think what we have to do is work on what we have to get better on, and I touched on that. I'd like to see us, cause more turnovers defensively. That's one of the big things we got to do, and we got to, be better at defending the passing game. Those are the two things defensively I think that we need to improve on, and I really don't use them as, I think when we play good, it really doesn't matter who we play against. I mean, again, some of our wins this year have been against some of our better teams that we've played. I think FAU might be one of the best top teams in the league that we beat, a couple weeks ago, and they're proving it over their wins over UAB and then a decisive win over FIU. And so for me, I'm being very sincere here. Our football team, it's not about who we play, it's about how we play, right? Because when we play good and we play focused and we improve on the things we need to improve on, we can play with anybody and we can play at a super high level. And so that's what I'm urging out of our football team right now, and not as much to be concerned about what your opponent does. And of course, we're going to study them, but I do feel like they have a lot of strengths as well as an offensive football team.
Anything else?
Okay. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it.